It's on a picture. You see it.
All right, we're live. Arthouse. Let me buzz in. Beep. All right, where's Crazy Dave Espy? Let's get serious. There he is. What is that?
Today, brought to you by Angel's Envy, the envy of all the underworld.
The underworld.
What's going on, guys? Hello, all. Cheers. Happy hour somewhere. It's always happy here at the home office on a day off from the shop. I run 6 days a week, flights to Albany, New York, 381 Sand Creek Road, the single greatest LGS nobody's ever heard of because it's our 30th anniversary this year. So cheers to Maria Perry for creating Flights of Fantasy back in 1993. We are the out of the ashes, through the pandemic, reincarnation, continuation for the next hopeful, knock on wood, 30 years, which technically now know is knocking on wood summons demons. So it's really not a good thing to knock on wood when you want to do it, unless you're one with the Underdark and here, to Angel's Envy.
Nice, man. 30 years. That's impressive. So what kind of LGS scene? Are there like a lot of gamers in your area?
So there's actually 7 other LGSs in the area. One direct local competitor has been around for about the same time frame as us, with a couple different stores that have changed over the years, and different business partners, and now it's kind of moving on to some other different directions, and they have a new local warehouse thing to do for their gaming. And the competition in the area, there's enough gamers that we all don't compete for the same dollars, but the community all knows each other, and it's all intrinsic to 518 area code. And people come from all over the world to come see my shop. I don't know about the other stores in the area, and I just know that when you build a community, which is what I focused on really, really hard for the past 5 years, which isn't easy to do in a pandemic or coming out of a pandemic, because people are itching to get back to playing in person, but don't always have the social etiquette because they've lost it. They've lost it in the pandemic, sitting home being laptop warriors and keyboard jockeys. So
that's crazy.
Actual cardboard paper, magic and interaction. It takes a while to iron out people's personalities and their quirks and their who they are as a person, and then realize where your people are at. And my store right now can host up to 50 people comfortably.
Wow.
And any given Wednesday night, we do primarily Magic the Gathering. We branch out into some other board games and some role-playing games. Not a whole lot of tabletop, but we have a core group of really awesome fans, and much love to those who were there since the beginning of the inception of Flights 2 when we changed over. And without our people and community, there's no LGS. And the community goes beyond that into the internet and things just like this, where people that don't know say, hey, you know, I live right down the road. What's going on in your what is this? And the parking lot's always full every night now. It's never been like this. What's going on? And I say, well, we're a game store, and for the first time in a long time, we're on the map as a mecca for people who play Magic the Gathering, whether it's old school 93 to 94. We have every single pack and single available from 1993 to current sets. You can come in, you can buy a pack of off our shelf. You want Urza's Destiny? We got it. You want Kamigawa? Any of them? We got it. You want Ravnica? First, second, third, fourth, City of Guild, whatever we have them. So come on in, check us out.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I think I told you I grew up in Rochester, New York. I moved away halfway through freshman year of high school, so it's severely damaging. That's why I'm such a. That's why I got dark, cynical humor.
Yeah, but listen, dark humor is all about it here. You can't laugh at it. You can cry about it. There's only 2 reactions you have in life. You can laugh or you can cry. Or you can sit there and be like, how do I feel about that? And you still have to pick one or the other.
I think it's a upstate New York characteristic. But the store there I think was Crazy Igor's in Rochester. Have you heard of that? I don't know if it still exists, but
he's the cousin to Crazy Dave.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so that was the place back in the day in Rochester. But all right, so yeah, obviously we got to talk Sorcery. So you're a big Magic store, but you're interested in Sorcery. So did you back the Innkeeper pledge?
Absolutely. When I first heard about this project and that, I was like. So the thing is, I love Magic, but it's one of those things that in the beginning days I got into it and got some other people into it, and then that blossomed and grew their businesses, And then I got out of it in '98. I actually '98 I won a DCI, and I kept. Yes, I've worn the crap out of this shirt. I can't wear it anymore. This is the 1998
Wow.
DCI shirt. I won a DCI. This was the last tournament that I actually played in, and it's the only tournament I ever won, even like in LGSs until
Nice.
my own pre-release, which we did for Streets of New Capenna, and Crazy Day with the character in there, and we did a whole montage of videos on it. But I love it to the point where Wizards is changing it, and it's not what it was. Commander is the format. It is the only format. There is old school. There is other things in that, and after a while of having everything, it gets boring.
Yeah.
Not to say I don't love playing, but there's other games that are out there. I was a huge fan of a lot of old dead TCGs. L5R is great. BattleTech. You have Doom Troopers. There is Wyvern. There is Illuminati New World Order, which we're walking into that now with everything that's going on in the political climate. We'll leave that alone.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one day, I'm just looking for something, the next greatest, biggest things, and Flesh and Blood comes along. I'm going, yeah, I'm not really feeling that. I missed the boat on that one. MetaZoo came along. That's not my thing. Pokemon's not really my thing. But there's people who play it and are into that stuff. And as an LGS, I have to say, we carry this because people want it. If people don't want it and they don't want to buy it as our local community, I'm not going to get it because that's just dead inventory sitting on my shelf. That doesn't make me any money. Yes, it's cool to have it there because we have stuff all the way back to the mid '90s for role-playing games and old stuff you can't find anywhere. Many people come in and are like, "Wow, I haven't seen. Why wouldn't you have this on the internet? Why don't you post it for sale on the internet?" It's like, because I don't want to sell on the internet because then you're not coming to my store to see the cool crap that I have here.
Yeah.
And when I heard about Sorcery Contested Realm and what was involved with it, I didn't know who Eric was. I didn't know who any of these other people were in that, but I did know 15 of the names of the artists that were involved in it, and the 15 of the names that are involved in it, I don't even have to mention them because you just say one name and your mind immediately right to an image of whatever your favorite card is or artwork, and it couldn't be necessarily even just MTG. It could be from a Dragon magazine, or it could be from a totally different game like Werewolf or Vampire to Masquerade. Tons of different things that these artists have carried over into in different genres.
Yep.
Then I saw Contested Realm coming up, and I go, well, what's this? And I'm just snooping around. I had a whole bunch of money during the pandemic that I bought and sold and traded, and I said, I got a couple $1,000 to invest in this. Got a store. Maybe this is the thing to take a jump onto. So
Gotcha.
I decided that I wanted to go full into it. Based upon the artwork alone, there's some of my favorite artists that are in there, and let's face it, we collect game stuff for the art, or we collect it for the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
The art's on point. Like I don't have to tell you.
No.
It's
It's an original, guys.
This is the card. All right.
Yep.
There's the card. That's the original. I
Original
couldn't resist.
painting.
I had to have that painting, and it's phenomenal. And it's going to be in my store. Like, there's not a lot of LGSs that have a lot of original artwork. It's always scrolled away and hidden in somebody's, little my treasure trove. Yes, these are my paintings. You cannot see them now.
Yeah, we've seen some resold already, but oftentimes people are just avid art fans and collectors. They could be gone for years or forever,
right.
So people jump on it. That's cool. Yeah, I got several myself. They're amazing.
Yeah, you can own the card and artist proof. You can get these signed and altered or whatever. But
yeah.
There's only one. I was talking about the hype coming up, the One Ring coming up. It's like, yeah, okay, you know what? This to me, when you have that hanging on the wall in your shop or at your home, you're the only person who has this.
Yep.
That really is the upper echelon of being a collector. And with Collector Arthouse, it's some things don't translate well to cards. This painting to this card translated extremely well. Other ones, they lose detail or they gain detail and they just get blurry and too busy.
Sure. Yeah, so you mentioned you knew a lot of the artists, so not just like we often think they're original. I mean, a lot of them are Alpha MTG artists, but there's also TSR, D&D artists. Right. So the thing I wanted to ask you, like Marta Molina, obviously you know her. She's a huge name in the MTG Alters scene. Did you also know Elvira Shakarova and Kyle Calazans from MTG Alters?
So Elvira was one of the people that I didn't really actually know until I'd seen her artwork through Sorcery, and it's phenomenal. It's great. And the other gentleman you mentioned?
Kyle Calazans. He did the Ral Dromedary and a lot of the site, like landscape style site. He does
So,
alters.
so
He's
the
big.
thing is, you got to understand that you'll see an image and you don't always put the person's name to that image
Yeah.
unless it is so beaten into your skull that you've seen it for a long period of times.
Mm-hmm.
And most of these Magic artist cards and things, there's 66,000 cards, and now it's
Yeah.
all the alters and the unique art and the secret layers. And it's I can't keep up. Even in the showcase, there's 10 versions of the same card. I'll be looking in the showcase for something. It's like I don't see it, and it's like it's right there. I'm like, oh, and I Snapcase doesn't have the old artwork on it. It's got the new one that I don't recognize, so I can't
Yeah.
just visually see it. With a photographic memory, it comes in handy until you got 80,000 versions of 66,000 cards, and it doesn't help.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of people doing alters. I mean, these days.
Yeah.
So
I
it'll
love
be it.
alters. I got a whole rack of alters. I love it.
Yeah.
I think custom artwork is really, really awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be cool now that some of them, I don't know that all of them want to do alters, but I'm sure Marta and Kyle will for sure. But to have them have their own cards in the game and then be able to alter their own cards and others, pretty sick. But
Well,
yeah, if you should go out and check out Elvira on Instagram. She
Yeah.
took down her Facebook group page, unfortunately. She had all these amazing pictures of the alters she did,
Yeah.
which are like out of this world, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But she has a bunch on Instagram still, so
Yeah, but
everyone
I
should
think
go
too,
check
like,
that out.
I'm going to plug Marta here. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get her to come to the shop for an event we're trying to do. We'll talk about it in a bit
Okay.
in July. But
Yeah.
I love her artwork so much, and I actually don't own a single one of her altered Magic cards.
Oh,
But
wow.
her artwork is so iconic and so crisp and clean. Like to think that she's painting so much detail in this little tiny picture.
Yeah.
I reached out to her and I says, "Listen, Marta," I says, it's a pandemic and all. You really don't know me. I says, "But I love your artwork. I want you to paint something for me personally
Uh-huh.
that nobody else has, nobody else has ever seen, and I want to just have it on my wall. But I want you to paint it bigger." So she's
Yeah.
actually done the biggest painting to date, which is 8.5 by 11 for me, and we called it Quagmire or Quagmire. Giggity. And we turned it into a playmat. So we did our initial 30th anniversary. We turned it into a playmat for our shop, and this is absolutely gorgeous artwork.
Awesome. So you have the original, and then you made
Yes.
playmats out of it too. Nice.
Yep, we made a limited edition 200 playmats of it, and that's all that's going to be out there for our anniversary of 30 years. And I love it so much. I was like, I have a bunch of other artwork and things I could have used, but it came out so good. And when we blew it up to the playmat size, I saw more detail and more stuff that was in there. Like I just cannot say enough about her technique and her ability.
Yeah.
She looks pretty good in the picture too, from what I can tell. And
She works out.
yeah, she works out. Oh, work out.
Yeah, man, she's got amazing talent for sure. Like her altars are nuts too. All three of them do great altar work, so it's cool. And that's how Eric found him. He said, I had Elvira on for an interview, and she said that I think Eric found her through one of the altar groups and just messaged her one day and was like, "How would you like to be a part of this project?" And that was her first breakthrough, full painting, published commission.
And that's the thing too, is I felt like I needed to be in on the ground floor with this artist, where it's like, an early rush or something like that, where now it's worth, $500,000 for just a doodle. And to have Marta's an original piece that's unused anywhere is something that's done, documented to being she's working, it's just now being discovered. And I'm saying listen, I just had to have this. And that's for me personally. So at some point that's not ever gonna get sold. That's just me.
So do you have a bunch left? So if she comes out for the event, she could sign those. You could sell those to.
I do.
Nice.
Yep. And I'm trying to actually. So I'm not let's cut out of the bag. I'm actually trying to see if at some point we're going to do a store exclusive site with Quagmire on it as a custom altar. So we're going to get we'll get the Sorcery back and a card, and then we'll get custom altar done for just that and call it Quagmire, and we'll figure out some ability for it as a store specific card for just my shop.
Yeah, I'm pulling on my website here. I think Kaio has a card called Quagmire in the game. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, is there already a Quagmire?
So let me see. Let me double check because they changed the names several. Yeah, Quagmire. Yeah, I can't. I could probably present my desktop and show it to you, but check it out later. It's actually a really nice. It's actually like a forest scene, kind of like a marsh, like you have, but it's a different. It's more positive. There's a sunset, in the back, or sunrise, so it's more bright. Yours is kind of more ominous looking. It's pretty cool.
Maybe we'll call this one Quagmire After Dark. Giggity.
There you go. That's hot. Nice. All right, so you back. So how did you first hear of Sorcery?
I was actually I'm a big Robotech fan, hence the BattleTech and stuff, and there's original Macross Saga and all the Robotech books that are here. some of the big
Nice.
Gestoids and whatever. And I was on there, and there's a company that was producing a Macross miniature game. And my buddy turned and says, "Hey, check this out! Kickstarter, they're going to do a Macross game with all the lead miniatures, but in 3D printed." So I went on there and I'm checking it out, and I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I got some money. I'll back this." So you get the whole box kit, and if they hit like certain levels and tiers, you get better stuff, and you get this Andrade ship, and you get the SDF-1 transformed. Big shout out to anybody who understands what I'm talking about. And all the SD, all the cool stuff that you would ever want to have to play with for Robotech as a board game. And all of a sudden, I'm scrolling through. I was like, "Oh, hey, these things might interest you. Have you seen this? Have you seen that?" And all of a sudden, I come across Sorcery Tested Realms. Then they show a list of the pictures and the artwork and some of the things, and I go, "What is this?"
Looks good.
So I click on it, and I look a little deeper, and then all of a sudden, I see like there's people who are involved that are people I know. So I'm like, "Oh, shit. What's the deal?" So I clicked on it, and I hemmed and hawed for a little bit, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go full boat on this. Because it made sense to get in on it. But I missed it by a day and a half or so, because I had something going on. I can't remember exactly, from when they actually officially opened it up for purchases. So I couldn't get the original artwork. All this stuff got gobbled up immediately in the first half hour. I think it was 3 hours. I missed the opening window by 3 hours. I forgot about West Coast versus Australia time.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be West Coast time. Actually, it was Australia. Whatever it was, I missed it by 3 hours, and all the shit was gone. All left was Innkeepers, and I think one Super Mega Ditto Head version, and then all the scrub packages. So,
would you have gone for Collector or Avatar? Is that what you would have?
Well, if I couldn't get in as an Innkeeper, yeah. Because, I mean, something...
It was comparable price, and the Collector tier was like wildly underpriced. I mean... When you see like paintings going for a few grand, that alone pays for the whole kit. Sample packs are worth a ton. Everything. It's a slam dunk.
Yeah. And so I said, well, crap, even just to have a piece of original artwork, I was like, I'm just going to buy it for the artwork. Who cares about the rest of the stuff? I'll just sell that off, and I got the artwork. But then I actually started falling in love with the game. I researched it more and dug deeper. I started, getting on the keyboard and I'm like, "Hey, Jeff. Hey, Mark. Hey, what do you know about this and that?" And I reached out to Jeff Menges, and he says, "Well, it says," his beard, he's like, "Funny you should mention that." And I actually did flooring in his house. We went to Vermont. He saw some pictures. I do custom flooring on the side.
Nice.
And he saw some pictures of some stuff I did, and he's like, "Hey," he says, "would you be interested in, giving me a quote or whatever?" And I go, "Holy shit, I'm like, wait. I got Jeff the man Minges asking me to come to his house and give him a quote to do his floors." So my partner in flooring and I went up there. And I took a look at it, and sure as shit, we did his floors in his beautiful farmhouse that he has up in the snowlands of the Northeast.
Right.
And
that's awesome.
Scarecrow Studios. And I walk in there and he's got all this amazing artwork on the walls, and I see something and I was like, "Holy crap! I know what that is. Holy crap, I know what that is." And he's literally sitting there working on something. He says, "Well, I'm not really supposed to be able to show you this." He says, and, so I was like, "Shit, that's rubble."
Yeah.
He's like, "How do you know about that?" I go, "I probably shouldn't have just said that." So, during talking with people on that, you kind of get this inside feel to what's going on as a community, again, of the art house and of the people who are in the sorcery realm.
Yeah.
On the Facebook group, in the Discord, although I personally can't stand Discord. I think it's the most choppy thing. I'd rather go back to the days of ICQ.
It gets weird sometimes,
Yeah, it's clunky. I don't really like it. But I have it, and I use it on occasion. But anyways, it's when you start building relationships and friendships with people that are in Australia, Connecticut, New Zealand, Virginia, just anywhere around the world, Spain, France, Portugal, and you're all into the same thing. It felt like a community started forming. And now, mind you, I'm going back when there was like 25, 30, 40 members in the group. I think I was member like 75 or something like that.
In the Discord or the Facebook group?
In the Facebook group.
Oh, on their page, yeah. They had a page, and then they just launched a group like a month or two ago. I don't know, pretty recent, but yeah.
Even in your art house group, that when I joined that, I was like, well, what else is out there? And I found your shit, and I'm like, this cat's pretty cool. Let's hang out with him, see what he's up to. And
Yeah.
it just snowballed.
Hmm.
But the problem is that P word, pandemic. And unfortunately, 90% of the world's crap is made in China. Um,
Hmm.
the communist state of plastics and cardboard and printing, oh my. We're at the mercy of transshippers and schedules and
Yeah.
shortage supplies of raw materials at this point. We're just
Hmm.
now finally getting back to the point where we have enough silicon chips to power the cars that are sitting in lots for 2 years now. It's because they need the chips for the brains on those and the same thing happened with Contested Realm. So as an innkeeper backer, I was like, yeah, take my money, hit send,
Yeah.
and now we wait. Yes, Smithers. Now we wait.
Yeah, and so it's hard to know where the delays were because they announced. I mean, maybe there were some delays in packing it up and shipping it from China originally, but they announced that like I want to say a couple months ago. So it's like we were like 4 to 6 weeks in. It's like how could the boats possibly still be on the ocean? But I think in the latest update, I think they were saying they got into the port, and through customs, and then they're bottlenecked now at ShipQuest trying to fulfill other orders for other Kickstarters and things like that. From what I don't know, reading between the lines. It was a little cryptic, but they said like they're in the queue and there's other like projects that have to be worked through before they can deal with the sorcery product and get that out. So
Right.
uh,
So this is like much like you send stuff to a warehouse. It sits in a truck until they can actually sort it. It's like a meat
yeah,
packing facility or a canning facility in Canada. You got. I love king crab legs. Little shout out to Patch there. If I could die and eat something every day of my life in eternity, it would be king crab legs, no doubt. With butter, because without it, it's just that's what it is. It's a vehicle for butter. Who doesn't love
yeah,
butter? Vegans probably don't like butter. Anyways, you have a canning facility and all these boats coming in with their catch, and they have a 24-hour, 48-hour turnaround time for all these to come in. You stack those boats up in a row. The
hmm,
canning facility can only handle 800 crabs a minute or 1,000 crabs an hour or whatever it is they handle. You're going to have a backup. So if you have 15 or 16 different companies now that have product, they need to go through these controlled sorting facilities to make sure there's no
yeah,
fuck ups and things go where they're supposed to go to, and labels are printed and done properly, and security tape and non-tampered seals. It takes time, and if a lot
hmm,
of that stuff is done initially, great, but it still has to be logistically sorted from the pallets that come in of just raw materials. So, like I
yeah,
order and I get 10 of these boxes, 15 of this, 2 of this, 3 play mats, 6 starter decks, 3 of this, a promo kit plus the innkeeper package. You can make sure all that
hmm.
goes in the box to me, so I don't get a box and it has like 3 boxes of this, 2 boxes of that, a poster, and original painting. I'm like, okay, this is not my order. I'm not going to
Right.
complain, but this is not my order.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you about that is, as a store, how long you been working at the store? Like decades? Couple decades now?
so here's what's funny. I started doing trading cards back in the day with Marvel comic cards, DC cards. I was into comic books um, with some
Okay.
friends in middle school and into high school, and then got into a little bit of the non-sport cards, the Boris Vallejo artwork,
Wow.
the Julie Bells, the
Yeah.
Soriyama art, the Olivia, the tits and ass stuff that my parents, I couldn't look at porn or read porn magazines, but I could like, shit out of these cards because I was like, I was working for a card dealer. I went to the mall and I was 12, 13 years old or something like that, and met this guy. His name's Jim. Shout out to Jim Brusso. Love you, bro. He
Hmm.
now runs Graded Power, but he needed a boy
Yeah.
Friday, which is an old school term for a helper.
Okay.
And my mom's like, well, where's he live? And he's like, he literally lives right down the road from, well, he did. Now he's
Wow.
in Kentucky, but he lived right down the road on All Drive or All Ave and here in Colony, New York.
Hmm.
And his brother was into tropical fish. So his brother and I became
Okay.
friends over tropical fish. His um, aunt, Ginny, was a beautiful person. Rest in peace.
Hmm.
Um, Loved food, and I was into food, and we started talking and all sorts of weird shit. But um, he needed help for shows, going to set up for baseball card shows and selling sports cards and whatever. And it's called Centerfield Sports Cards. So my love for that became and I was a natural born salesman as a kid. My grandmother said I could sell rubber boots to a duck in a rainstorm,
Hmm.
and kind of like through the years, I just got better and better at it, and it branched into things like collectibles, like Star Wars toys and um, like even like antiques and stuff. Just knowing things
Yeah.
and how to find
Well,
how to find a market for somebody that needs something, how to reach it from like everybody knows a guy. If you're the guy that everybody knows for everything, you're better
yeah.
off than that one guy that knows one guy.
Yep. Yeah, that so for context, the reason why I asked how long you've been at the store is because I hear like some of the people in the community have said that like this is very typical for a Kickstarter. You have many delays and like the level of communications the company has done is also pretty typical for a Kickstarter. Maybe slightly better, slightly worse than others. I'm wondering, like, has your store backed a lot of Kickstarters? And I want to get into like how those types of things compare to how Sorcery's running things here.
Right. So getting through that, I took a hiatus after 98, 99 away from the whole gaming industry and that and pursued a career as a chef. My parents said, get a haircut, get a real job, and quit playing with your Pokemon bullshit cards. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. All right. Yeah, sure. Now, I did keep some of that stuff, luckily. So it's not like it's all gone, but the majority of my stuff in my collection was gone. Had to rebuild it. And in doing such, I got back in touch with the local game stores, and Maria Perry in particular, who owned Flights of Fantasy, who I'd known since '93 and played in her original location. And at one point, she said, "Hey, I talked to a couple of people that work here. Would you be interested in working a couple of hours?" And I said to her, "Hey, if you ever need help doing stuff, let me know." So that was 2017, and I became pretty much their guy, their right hand guy. Between myself and Ron and Maria and a couple of the other coworkers that were there, we made Flights what it was, and it was a vanity business that she at one point wanted to retire from. It was mostly a bookstore, and let's face it, it's 2020 coming up. Nobody's reading books anymore. Everybody's all
Right.
about e-readers and stuff, and it was a dead revenue stream.
Okay.
So when push came to shove, I said, Maria, let's go in a different direction. Let's try some different stuff. So we had other games that she had carried for years, and I kind of steered the store in a different direction. And the pandemic hit, and everything changed. And I basically said, let's do nerd livery. She goes, what? Of all the times you would want to have an LGS open when there's fuck all to do except Netflix, video games, and your girlfriend at night, and hopefully not getting her pregnant or getting her pregnant and then having to deal with a hospital with a bunch of sick people, if that's what your cup of tea was to keep busy during the pandemic, awesome. Giggity. Intended. And yet we were forced to close. So during the pandemic, I had to reinvent the shop and figure out how we were going to do this. So TCG Player was huge, online sales, eBay, Amazon, and unfortunately, Amazon, even during the pandemic, was really like, you got to ship it to us in our central warehouse. It was like all this rigmarole to do, and it's just not worth it. But yet, Walmart's and all the other stores that are open selling this crap on the open market, you can go into free willy-nilly with no restrictions, was corporate America screwing the little guy. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised there wasn't more LGSs that closed during the pandemic. I mean, there's a 70% die-off. I mean, it's talking like coral bleaching, a pandemic of a global warming in the oceans of the Great Barrier Reef and Florida, and just the oceans being acidification, all that global crap. That's what it feels like as an LGS guy saying, okay, I'm trying to survive, not make a killing, but try to make sure that I keep the lights on, the employees are paid, I get paid, my partner gets paid, we have product on the shelf, and we're in for the long haul. Because if you have stuff now and you sell it, you get nothing for the future.
Okay.
Kickstarter, you get one shot. One
Yeah.
shot. It's literally an Eminem song where you get one shot. Do not miss your opportunity. So if you don't jump on it, you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
To offer something exclusively that everybody has access to, and you have a goal of, say, $5 million or $3 million or $80 million to do it, and you surpass that triple folded.
Mm-hmm.
Now, directly picking on Contested Realm now. They surpassed that in day one.
Yeah.
So they started expanding, saying, okay, if we hit this mark, and we just went wham right off the course and said, you need to make this. We're here. What do you do between here and here? You use it. Do you fuel the future? Do you fuel the current? Do you fuel it in advertising and pushing things out? I have backed probably 30, 40 different Kickstarters. I am still waiting on 7 of them to come to fruition. Some came
Okay.
really, really quick. Some of them not so much. Catalyst Games, I'm going to call them out. They fucking suck.
Huh.
As an LGS
I
owner,
know.
they suck at LGS support. They're great at Kickstarter. Like, it's easier and cheaper for me to order through Kickstarter and get product than it is for me to order through a distributor. I hate to say it, but it's the only way I can get product. You know, when I order it through a distributor, and then I see people on Kickstarter not getting it, they're like, well, how the hell did you get it already? Because I haven't got my Kickstarter yet. I'm like, well, because I ordered it from Diamond Distribution. And they're going to take care of them because they're the bigger fish. They order 100,000 boxes versus your 3 boxes on Kickstarter. You're little potatoes. You know, the distributor wants their money because that's $250,000, $3 million, $5 million, whatever the giant sum of money is. That's their nut. They want their nut back so they can stack it back in their tree and collect that income. You got whales that come in, the Rudies of the world, whoever it is that wants to back something and say, hey, cut me in for this much more than all these other guys.
Yeah.
I'll make it worth your while. I want to do that. Where's my opportunity? And with Kickstarter, everybody has that opportunity, provided that opportunity is posted. All the backdoor scene stuff is not heard of, so you don't really get to see that with Kickstarter because all that's behind the scenes and it's backdoor deals, much like with the beta stuff now that is really kind of ruffled my feathers as an LGS owner because I backed this before anybody even knew what the fuck Sorcery was. To the point where, like, original paintings, having artists come down, owning sketches, getting art proofs, you know, from you guys that nobody else has. Why?
Yep.
I have lots of boxes back here that are full of dead games that have lasted 3 months, 8 months, 3 years, two decades. Nobody cares anymore. And to back something and put your financial nut so deeply into something that was supposed to be out. Now, originally, this was supposed to be out last October. Last year, like 2022, it was supposed to be out. So September, October, I'm trying to plan events. November, January. Okay. So I tried to tentatively schedule something to have an in-store appearance with some artists and do an event. And that ship came and went. And then March, I went to France. Didn't care. All right. As long as it doesn't happen in March, I'm good. April comes. There's a little bit of light at the rainbow at the end of the tunnel saying, oh, we got your pot of gold, little boy. We're going to give you your pot of gold. Just not yet. Transparency. Like, the silence is golden, but it's not good when those who actually need to look 6 months or 3 months or 6 weeks out to plan something, because I can't just say, okay, it's here. Now we have an event. If I just have an event, great, but people don't know, and people have to plan for this. And financially speaking, these boxes aren't cheap, and events aren't cheap, and plane fare and itineraries where people have Gen Con coming up, they have Magic Cons, they have appearances, bar mitzvahs, family reunions, airfare, pandemics, all that stuff is difficult to plan around when you don't actually have product. Granted, this is the alpha product release and there's no actual release date. Most games have a street date on them. You really need a street date. If you don't have a street date, you can't plan anything. So when I see videos of people that are like, you know, opening boxes and stuff, it's like, hey, look what I just got from Joe Schmo at transshippers, .com, and they're opening product that isn't even supposed to be out for 6 more weeks. It's nepotism.
But like with Kickstarters, do they not have a reveal season? Like, oh, really? So that was unconventional. I didn't even know that. I was just like,
no. You'll get the email for the updates. Whatever Eric or whoever his team is that sends out. Oh, by the way, just want you to know from Kickstarter, which is great. I have 7 Kickstarters now. They get these updates every sporadically, and then it's like, oh, we're getting closer to shipping. Oh, we're getting this. Oh, by the way, because we're taking so much longer to do this, and we had some production issues, we're giving you this extra now.
Yeah.
Which is nice, but holy shit, I want to play the game before I turn 50, which is in another 3 years. I've already been waiting 3 years on this.
So you said like, all right. So it was weird. You kept going, which is great. I like my computer just like restarted, so I'm back in action now. So I missed like maybe a minute of what you were saying. I actually called up YouTube on my iPhone, but I think what you're saying is like on day one they blew it out of the park, right?
Yep.
So you're arguing they had all this extra money. So
Yep.
you think did not invest that wisely to accelerate the release, or what was your point there? I don't want to miss like what your point was.
So the thing is, reiterate it. You had this money, this giant wad of pocket cash that's extra now. It's the gravy.
Yeah.
It's not pure profit. It's just money you have now that people back to buy this product with. If your product cost you $100,000 and you made $100 million, just say there's a shit ton of extra money that you can say, all right, what are we gonna do with this? You do what every smart business does. You put it into reach. You put it into ads, social media, advertisements. Talk to distributors. Go to Gen Con. Go to the mall. I mean, I don't know if they have them in Australia now, but like go to places and trade shows and say, hey, here's what we have.
Okay.
And
yeah. So you think they could have done more with marketing?
Yeah. My partner Lance DiRatafia, he ran a game. Designed a game called Beast Clans. And we have our own website and our own game. It's all in it's all production. It's all produced. We sell it in our store. We sell it online. BeastClans.com. And we go to conventions now, and we set up, and we teach people, we show them how to do that stuff. And it's so much work that goes into it that maybe it might catch fire, it might not catch fire, but you have to throw it out there. And without people seeing it and getting it beaten into their skulls, being like Sorcery, even if you just don't even know what the logo is or what the card back is, every day people are like, well, what's that? What? I have this in my showcase at the shop, and they're like, oh, that's cool art. What is that? I'm like, it's Sorcery. I'm like, what? They don't no idea. Yeah. So the website alone is like there was no info on the website, no links to the Facebook group, no. Finally, we're up there as a store. Finally, as where you can purchase it from. Yeah. But I feel like the outreach was subpar. It really should have been pushed, because now you have product out there. What do? Do you go at a full send release push for beta? Because that boat already sailed, because they did some backdoor deal with a private distributor where I'm like, okay, I'm a wholesaler retailer. Why? I don't want to pay $155 a box and then have to sell it for $155 a box when everybody else bought it at $155 a box and make zero money on it. If I put it in my shop at $199 and they're like, oh, you're making $50 a box on that. Okay, well, yeah, because you can't get it. Did they not say beta would be available to distributors or through direct sales or as innkeepers? I've seen nothing as an innkeeper saying, hey, don't worry about this. We're pre-selling this to get some numbers up and find interest. We'll get to you in a minute. That's all it would take.
All right, wait. You're on a roll here. You're going to a separate issue. Let's address the first one first. So, like, I was in your camp initially, too. I thought it was odd. Like, I was worried, and I reached out to, like, Eric and the team, and this was, like, last year sometime, like in the fall, let's say, or winter time frame. And I was like, you had this massive momentum from the Kickstarter campaign. It exceeded your expectations, and now here we are. Like at that point, it was probably like 8-9 months in, right? Yeah. And I was like, that momentum is going to atrophy if you guys don't market some more and do better outreach and ramp your marketing efforts and partnering in social media or whatever, right? Like I was super active on my Facebook group, and that was growing. So there's some anecdotal evidence that there was interest and stuff, but their response basically was that they had no product to sell. So they were getting inundated with requests of people finding out about the game and then getting like really upset that like there wasn't a release date just yet, or they couldn't buy anything immediately. So I think their plan was, once like the Kickstarter fulfillment definitized and got closer to like actual release, like we are now, probably within a month or two, then they'd start ramping the marketing efforts to gear up for beta. So I could kind of, in retrospect, like appreciate that perspective, because had they like put their foot on the gas 6 months ago when they were uncertain of the release timeline, that could have been a big problem, getting people all jazzed up like they did with the reveals. That was probably a little premature to do maybe a month ago, because then we had another delay, and I think they probably got surprised by that. But to your point, I could also see the argument that they could have been educating people all this time on like, what is the game, how do you play it? Because I do, because now you're right, beta's ready, and I do hear a lot from like even the artists, like Ed Beard Jr. goes to these shows and he has all these Magic people coming up, and I was like, oh, everyone in Magic must know because you got Melissa Benson and Drew Tucker and Jeff Menges and all the legends, right? And he's like, they've never even heard of this game, Mike. I was like, wow, that's surprising.
Yeah.
But he's spreading the word, but that's like, he only has so much reach, right? I mean, the company's got to leverage social media, and they're doing that now. But I think,
well,
I
they
think
have magazines like GTS magazine that comes out for all of us wholesalers and retailers.
What is it?
GTS.
GTS.
It's one of the distributors. They actually have a retailer magazine that comes out of new product spotlights.
Okay.
And every month and a half or so, I get a new issue coming to me, and every month I go cover to cover, and I flip the pages. And there's zero, not one iota, not even a page with this on it for the logo, saying coming soon. Check back. For more information, go here. Nothing. And that.
So, like for other Kickstarters, do you usually see that? For other Kickstarters that come to market via Kickstarter, do you see a heavy marketing push leading up into the release and through these magazines and things? Okay. So they don't wait for the follow-on set. After fulfillment.
In particular, the Kid Logic Robotech set. Kid Logic is still pushing their miniatures, and like some of them are sold out, but they still produce miniatures in that. And as through the website, they're saying, hey, by the way, we have this in Kickstarter. Check out our Kickstarter. Oh, this is available now. The Mac 2 Monster is back in stock. The Destroid is back in stock. The Arrow Avenger is back in stock. Oh, but check out our Kickstarter, and you can get this for this price coming out soon. Just be patient. That sort of tiny little thing, even just an email out to somebody who says, hey, Joe Schmo at XYZ Card Shop, would you be interested in this new game? Just cold calling and saying, hey, here's this thing that we're doing. It's coming out. We don't have any product right yet, but put it on your radar.
Yeah.
And that's huge for us retailers because all of a sudden, like MetaZoo came out and everybody's like scrambling in that. And then the new version of Digimon came out. And then One Piece, perfect example, One Piece. The brand new game just came out. I don't know what the hell One Piece is. I'm not an anime guy.
Yeah.
But son of a bitch.
Me too.
It's $600 a starter deck, which I damn well know what it is now.
Jesus.
600?
Damn.
Yeah, can't get them, can't find them. They were limited edition. Everybody opened them to play the game. That's why they're rare and scarce now. The second edition, they're $6. You can buy them at Walmart. Nobody cares. But to people who are true blood fans, it's a cartoon. But there's people who are ravenous about it, just like people who love Melissa Benson's artwork or Olivia artwork or whatever. And if something comes out with that artwork in there, or the Death Dealer there, the Frazetta stuff.
Yeah.
I have the original Warhorse statue of it from cold cast porcelain, back in the late 90s.
Nice.
Love that stuff. And to be able to now have that card from a game sitting next to it, that's just cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know about it until I knew about it. And I think it's funny that Wizards decided to copycat that, but they beat it to the punch. Now what's going to happen is, and this is what I discussed with you at one point, you have this...
because of my aunt.
Hi. Everybody say hi to the kid.
She just had her picture taken at Acrobat, so she's got her makeup on.
Nice. You look cute.
Here? Nice. All right. I'll come down in like 20 minutes.
Like, that shade might look good on you, too.
I can get my subs up if I start rocking that lipstick.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so it's a little atypical in some ways with the marketing approach, and so you said, are people starting to hear of the game through your LGS connections, customers coming in?
Yeah, I can pick the piss out of it.
What's the reception like when you show them pictures and?
It's same thing as anything else. People are like, that artwork is so iconic. Once you see the pictures and I go to the website where a person actually came in and was like, how much is a box going to be? I said, probably around 400 at release. Like, why so much? I said, because it's alpha. You're never going to get a chance to get anymore. Like, and I go and I look on Amazon or eBay and they're like $425, $500 now. And the hype is there. And it's going to do this and then probably come down.
Yeah. Then
it's going to come back up. Once beta comes out and it's mass available, then the alpha is going to go back up again because there's certain cards in there that we know you can't get. And if you're a completist, like some of us are or old school, we want to have one of each card.
I know.
It's going to make it difficult because there's only going to be so much product that gets open. It's not It's not the Fallen Empires,
Right.
It's not where you can still go buy a box for $300-400 and open 60 packs of it and get the same crap that you could have bought for $10 a box or $40 a box back in '94.
Yeah, well, like, so there was a day that came when Eric announced that, well, we didn't know originally if he was going to do foils at all, and then he came out and he said he's doing the entire 400 card set in foils, and we knew like they were going to be pretty rare. There's like
Right.
less than 300 copies of the uniques. So like right away, I was like all demoralized for like a week. I was like, oh man, this is a rich man's game because I want to have a full master set too. So
Right.
that was a tough day, man. But it is what it is, and then.
Yeah.
We'll go for sets of beta, I guess, but
Yeah, and at some point, it's like I'm never going to be able to get all the foils. You just have to chase the ones you like. If something speaks to you in particular, you go get it. And if you are that completist, you might have to wait until this game is absolutely dead and nobody gives a rat's ass about it, and you can just go buy them for $10 a box. From Cheapo Depot or Ollie's Bargain Basement, which I have picked up a shit ton of really cool old games that are dead that I haven't seen in 5 or 6 years or 10 years. They were limited release, like Alpha Edition, original, extreme limited releases of just you name it. It's out there. But Spy Who Shagged Me. What is that?
Austin Powers, yeah.
So I found alpha boxes of Austin Powers sitting there at the trading card game, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I've never even heard of it.
Yeah.
And I get it, and I open up a couple of them, and I'm looking through it, and it's like, it's kitschy, it's campy, but the gameplay is pretty cool. You're
Really?
limited with what it is, but if Sorcery has the ability to grow and has a not just linear idea of one way to play the game, it'll survive. Look at Magic in a way. What happened now is they went from standard to type 2 to type 1 play to being old school to being modern to pioneer to standard to commander. It was EDH back in the day, and now commander is what everybody plays.
Well, let me ask you about that because like you I was going to ask you like how you think the game like fits in the market, but I don't know have you even like delved into how the game plays yet, or are you just attracted from an art perspective enough to like back it, and really don't know like what the gameplay is like and how it compares to other products you carry?
So I'm personally looking forward to actually opening the box, and I have not looked at spoilers personally because I want to have that. Yes, I want to have that magic feel that I had in my buddy Don's attic in 1993, opening a box of Alpha, playing D&D. We had no idea how to play the freaking game. His dad was a traveling salesman. He came home and says, like, hey, he says, I got this box. I mean, one of the games, so somebody said it was something hot, a new thing. We had no idea how to play it. There's no instructions in the booster box. The starters did, but there's no internet. There's no way to learn this crap.
Yeah.
And it was cool. We were playing D&D and decided to open these packs and use them as our spell book to fight this wizard. And DM was the wizard, and we had to use our creatures and minions and spells to do it. And we just made it up as we went along.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at stuff, but I didn't really read it and get into it. I tried watching a few how to play the game videos, and I fell asleep through most of them at 20 or minutes into them. I needed down and dirty, untap, upkeep, draw, main phase, combat phase. This is what you do. This is how it works. And then that's what I'm looking forward to doing for people to get into it. Because nobody wants to have, the minutia of the details and stuff. Nobody wants to care about like Rampage 2 is and what this does and that. Just teach them the basic,
the nuanced rules,
and we can figure it out as we go along.
Yeah, I found those hard to watch too, and watching other people play Tabletop Simulator, it doesn't do it. You got to sit down with somebody and have them like show you the rules and talk you through it. Even I had a guy on the channel. I did like an impromptu live a couple nights ago, and we were going through the cards I opened in the alpha box, and he was just like explaining to me how the game works, how the mechanic works for each card. And it seems like, I played Magic back in the early 90s. After I moved, I lost all my childhood friends. I'd never played Magic again in my life. So I haven't played in like, close to like 30 years, or 25 years. But
I can totally relate to that. And honestly, full circle, those people are back in my life. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the same thing is like they haven't played it in years, and we actually got together and had a great time, and it's kind of cool like that.
Yeah, but point being, like, that's my frame of reference, and then I just played like Hearthstone and goofy shit like that casually just for fun in prior years. So like as he's explaining to me the cards, I understand what. Gloria, hang on.
Naked baby alert! Everybody cruising, naked baby! Naked baby alert! Naked baby alert!
Got naked babies. Ridiculous. I had to go yell for the wife. All right. I guess she slipped away from the bath. Yeah, so like I'm saying, like I understand the fundamentals of gameplay from like like how Magic plays, how Hearthstone plays. So him describing to me like how this game plays, it's like a next level in experiential flavor in a way. Like you got to play it to understand if it's like clunky or if it's smooth and if it feels right. But just from the descriptions of the game mechanic of how the card works, it sounds like really awesome and creative, you know. So I'm excited about that and I want to get into it. But
yeah, and that's the thing is like. Trying to sell something to people who don't know what it is difficult. You can say, "Hey, I know you're here for a banana, but have you tried an apple?" Yeah, I don't really like apples. I really like bananas. Okay, but these are bananas and these are apples, and you can eat them both at the same time. And you put them in the same container, and they're both edible. Okay, so the pitch changes, and you just have to get them to try the apple that's different than the apple that they haven't tried. Do you like green apples or red apples? I've never had a green apple. Well, try the green one. You might like that.
yeah.
And selling a card game is very much the same way. It's like, well, what don't you like about Magic? Or what don't you like about Pokemon? Or what don't... Well, I collect Pokemon. You ever play it? No. So there's that whole aspect of people who say, you have all this Magic and you play Magic. Do you have Pokemon? Like, yeah, I got Pokemon. I have old stuff from other games too. But to try something new is pinnacle to growth, because what somebody doesn't understand is the fact that this game's been around for 30 years. This game's not even out yet.
Yeah.
Is it going to be around for 30 years? Is it going to be the game that kills Magic, because people are more interested in playing that than they are Magic? I know some people that play Flesh and Blood now that are diehard, have sold their entire Magic collection like this game's for kids, you know, and it's on a different level. I personally didn't much care for it. I tried it. I was like, yeah, okay. Much like Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh was great in the mid-'90s. I got these things, and now I can't read the damn print. It's too fine. Now they got Link Monsters, and the game's over turn 3, where it's just like, oh, I hit you for 5,000 points. This isn't fun. And you got the competitive side of it, where you get people to sit there and I don't even know why you're sitting down and playing with me now. I'm like, hi, my name is Dave. Nice to meet you. I haven't played this game in like 20 years. Why so salty, nerd?
So are people still like pretty heavy into Magic? Like you said, Commander format's the only thing that's viable. Are people pretty into that, or are they looking for like a new game in your perspective from your customers?
The beautiful thing is, like, I had the vision to say, okay, what do you focus on? Do you focus on what everybody else has, or do you focus on what nobody has? And the point was to have everything for my LGS. And I said to Lance in the pandemic, he says, might be kind of fun to have an LGS. He says, and I reminded him of a guy who owned an LGS when he was a kid. So he says, I'll back Sheedy Company and, let's go. So I'm the face of the business. He's the wallet of the business. And we said, we want to have the vision of everything. You want to walk in and have it? We have it. And the players that we have every single night, it's awesome. I count my value of the business by the amount of laughter and handshakes and friends that are made and met in my shop. The money's nice. It keeps the lights on and the AC repaired, which I was doing just the other day. It was 94 degrees in the attic at 10 in the morning, and I'm crawling around the attic with my dad, God bless his heart, 80 years old, retired guy, but he's a refrigeration mechanic by trade, and we're crawling around the attic and making it so that we had an old unit that was there. We actually fired it back up. Now we have full AC in the store, and it's going to be like 91 degrees this week. Nobody wants to hang out with a bunch of sweaty nerd mouth breathers, in a game store where it just smells like swamp ass. And we're not talking, comfortable swamp ass. There's it's not good. Like, I have a vending machine that has 40-cent bars of Right Guard in it, and people are like, they think it's hilarious. I'm like, no, it's there for a reason. I was like, if you can afford a $70,000 Magic collection, you can afford a 40-cent bar of deodorant, and I take a $1.50 hit on it. I don't fucking care. Like, don't come to my store and be a stinky swamp ass. All right? Yeah, it's hot. I get that. There's 50 people in the store. I watched the temperature go from 64 to 80 in 4 hours.
Damn.
It's a small space. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it's pinnacle that you actually have a shop that's inviting and an environment that people want to be part of. And half of that is not just what my material is that I have in a shop or the items that I have for sale. Anybody can just list a whole bunch of crap for sale and put a sign on the door saying, "Hey, we're open hawking some shit. Come buy my wares." The difference is, and there's a particular person who is only on the internet, and he recently in one of his videos mentioned, "Don't trust anybody who says just about the community and that." Well, I'm calling him out, saying, "Dude, you're full of shit. Community is everything, because without them, all you got is an empty warehouse that's filled with shit nobody wants, and you're just gonna have to hawk it all over the internet until somebody takes it."
Yeah, it's important for LGS model for sure.
It is.
So what do you hope do you see next from Sorcery? I mean, to your point, they have said that they news is imminent about distribution. I actually saw it I have another friend that owns a store, and he said it popped up on PhD for pre-orders. So distribution has it now. So there is that. I don't know what type of deal. I mean, so the Innkeeper Pledge backers, they're the early adopters, like you say. So you're looking, hopefully, that you get something special, presumably going forward. But they've only you're going to get the Kickstarter fulfillment. There's some marketing materials in there, like the posters and the promo card. There's 24 of the promo card.
Yeah.
But what do you hope to get from Beta, or what would you like to see from them next?
So here's the thing: is yes, I'm getting this promotion stuff, but I'm getting it when I have the product. I need that shit to hang on my wall months in advance.
Okay.
It's memory retention for people. That it's ADHD squirrels at a rave. Is the best way I can put it for most people who come in. I have people that come in that are regulars I see 3 times a week or 6 times a week, or people I see 6 times a year or once every 6 years. And I literally I have people coming in being like, "Oh, where's all the books?" I'm like, "Well, where you been? You haven't been here in 3.5 years since we changed over. The books have been gone for 3 years. Seriously, this is the thing. As in a local game store, if you don't have that repeated business or that reach to let people know you're there, people's like, "Oh, I drive past you all the time. Never knew you were here." Well, it's a brand new lit sign that I keep on. I actually keep it lit now 24/7 because it's that one person who sees it when it's lit that didn't see it when it wasn't lit to save $7 in electricity.
Yeah,
that
good call.
Then spends $4,000 in my store in the span of a year, well more than pays itself. Or even they spend $40.
Yeah.
That reach for them to say, "Hey, there's a game store down the street," and then they say it to somebody, and they say it to somebody, and they say it to the next thing I know, I got a full parking lot. Every chair is filled every night of the week with happy people playing games, making friends, and that's what it's about. I mean, you go through life, you either make money or you make friends. It's great to do both. Some people have no goals and no drive to even branch out. Granted, there are some people who have emotional issues or personality disorders or whatever. We welcome them all here, like Rainbow Warriors, orcs, dorks, nerds, dweebs. Don't care. We got multimillionaires that come in. The guy shows up in his Ferrari, buys Pokemon. I have a guy that shows up in a busty ass '72 Chevelle.
Yeah.
It's but we're all to pick on we pick on everybody equally at my shop. If you got a gut, I got a gut. Let's make fun of fat people jokes. For Mother's Day, we did come in and tell me yo mama jokes. 1985 called. They want their jokes back. Come in and tell me a yo mama joke. Make me laugh. I'll give you a pack of Magic for free. Or a pack of. We're doing Father's Day, dad jokes. We're gonna do dad jokes. Come in, tell me a dad joke. If it makes me laugh and it gets to the point where it's my favorite joke of all, you'll get the grand prize on Father's Day.
Yeah. All right. Well, so the Innkeeper Pledge is not coming early. What do you want to get for Beta? What's going to position the LGS to succeed, or just generally speaking? Do you think what do you need from Eric's Curiosa for the LGS to be a successful partner and get the word out on Sorcery?
We need reach. It comes down to reach, like crickets. When we send a message out or something, I'm like, "Hey, I have this product," and people are like, "Well, when's it coming?" I don't know. With the beta, they already did a pre-launch with some stuff available. We know it's going to be produced because there's all this extra fat cow cash money sitting in a jar somewhere, is buried in the backyard in Australia, protected by rattlesnakes and king cobras, or not king cobras. What do they have down there? They got so many poisonous things down there. You ain't got to worry about it. You ain't getting in that jar. But I think it comes down to we need to know we're going to get product, and we need to know we're going to get product, and it's going to be available, not just in one shot. We need to know we can say, "Hey, I ordered 6 cases of this, or I ordered a case of it, pending its selling. If I sell that one case like that, I want 5 more cases. Can I get that? Oh, well, we're out of production. We're not doing that." So you need to have an open-ended production schedule. If you're producing 100,000 cases of something and it's gone, it's no different than doing a Kickstarter or a pre-sale on something, because that's all it's available. which is great from a perspective of a collector, because you know it's a set amount of what's out there, which I love with old school Magic, because you know there's 133,000 of something being produced, versus now we have no fucking clue what is being produced, what isn't being produced, how many rares, how many mythics. We knew at one point there was 4,000 of something, there was 1,000 or 980 of a particular thing, and that's great. It also makes it more difficult when you say, well, all this product that isn't open now, how do we know how many is out there in the wild? So for a beta launch, I would say they have to do at least 25% over alpha to make it viable, because you're going to get that reach now from the product being out there. You're also going to have people that are out there to have this product that are just shelfers. They're going to take that box and go, whoop, up there, and nobody's going to hear about it. They're just sticking it aside. Or you're going to have the flippers, the backpack warriors. They're going to say, hey, I got this box. These 2 boxes cost me $800. I'm going to sell this one for $800, and then this one is going up here.
Yep.
So it's paid for.
True.
And they're going to squirrel it away to the point where, like Flesh and Blood, first boxes are going for $5,000 now.
Yeah. So you need accessibility to beta. I don't know. They've done some direct deals and guaranteed allocation things, but now it's in distribution with PhD. So I don't know if they're going to do more directs or. I mean, it becomes an allocation game. Yeah.
It's one distributor. There's Magazine Exchange. There's GTS. There's Peachtree State. There's Diamond. There's Joe Schmo's Chit Chat out in Ohio. You know, I mean.
Yeah.
Just dealing with one, if it's exclusivity, is great. I want exclusivity. How about direct? Like the people who sponsored you, who had, you're just throwing this out here. I'm an LGS. I am your direct lifeline to the people who are going to play this game, collect this game, purchase this game in the future and present. So how about, because we're innkeepers and we pledge you as saying we're on the ground floor, you say here directly to you, me, this guy.
Yeah.
From this company. Here's what we're going to do for you. And there's none of that being said right now. We all have to do the rat race and scramble, and that's not fun, because we're going to get zeroed out or allocated or told, you know, I ordered 10 cases of this beta. It's going to be big in my store. I want to be a flagship store for this game because I have that much faith in it, that it's going to take over, at least for a short hot minute, the viability of a good 24 tables or three chairs in my shop. I don't know yet. That's the problem. So when literally proverbial shit hits the fan, I want to know that I have the product to back me, and I have the company saying, we got you, Dave. We know you're doing the thing to promote us. We're going to help you and promote you and give you the direct deal also that PhD is getting. So if the box costs $104 for the distributor before shipping, it gets to them, it's $110. Ballpark at $5 for shipping, which is very generous. They're going to jack it up 10%. So now my box price is $126, $130 plus shipping. I'm at $140 a box now, and you're selling them for $150 retail. I can't make ends meet like that now, because I'm only going to make $10 a box. Now I have to jack them up again because now I'm the third person on the totem pole. Go direct, which is what I love about the Kickstarter. It's direct sales. My price, the price is the price. Whether PhD gets it or you get it or I get it, and I decide to do with it what I want to do. If I throw them in a bonfire and burn every one of them except for one box, and that's the box I open, I just raise the value of that alpha set because there's that much less in existence.
All right, man. Well, we went an hour. We said we'd go till 8. I got naked babies running around the house, so I'm going to have to wrap it up. Are there any last words you wanted to say? We could do it again sometime if you'd like.
Yeah, no, this was fun.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that, from an LGS perspective, your company, a.k.a. Sorcery or anybody else that's out there, doesn't need me. You don't. Because you can sell direct to people who want to buy it. Anybody, you literally just said, we have this product, we're going to put it up for sale. Here's our Kickstarter. We are going to sell it, and it either gets a pass or a fail. If it passes, great. You sell what you sell. If it surpasses what it is, then cool. If you do something special for those people who support it from the ground floor, or people who get in and say, you know what, I really have faith in this project, give it back. Because I give so much back to my community for people to come into my shop and support whatever it is they buy from me. You know, I'll throw them out free sodas. I'll give them, pizzas. I'll give them shit. I'm a chef by trade for years and that, and our events are off the chain. We have catered events that people come in for, and I think that as a vendor, you have to respect a person at an LGS who's going above and beyond just hawking your shit and putting it out there and actually giving a crap about it to the point where you're trying to run events and say, let's promote the shit out of this on a grassroots level, which that approach is very, very different, but also infuriating. So I understand no information is good information, but good information is better information. And with that being said, Eric and crew, I know they went through some changes in the hierarchy and the reaching out as far as their team. And you're launching a game. I get it. It's tough. There's so many things we did with our Beast Clans thing. We did a additional add-on card set with little knockouts. We had to send it back twice because it was wrong both times to be corrected in production. So there's setbacks and stuff. And do a good product. I would be happy waiting longer. I just want to know. That's what it comes down to. Just like, hey, by the way, you know how we said last September? What we really meant was July of this year, meaning 8 months from now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I can plan that. But son of a bitch, if I get to July 20th and I don't have product and I have people coming in from Spain and Connecticut and Vermont and Ohio and I have hotels that are booked and I have things and I have all these things that I'm pushing for this event to do from my store to help your business promote and go better to the next level, I'm the guy who just got fucked in the ass because that shit cost me money to promote it. Now, was it premature? No, but I have to plan things in advance because you know when I get it, everybody else gets it. And at that point, the cat's out of the bag. And I want to have it and do something above and beyond just saying, hey, everybody, my name's Crazy Dave, and I got this new thing bringing at you here, and we're going to open this here box of alpha, and I have no fucking clue what it is. I have no idea how to play this game. There's a bunch of people on YouTube and internet you can go to, and you can watch it, but we're going to do some crazy shit. Oh, let me introduce to you my good friend, and, bring the artists and stuff in and have a conversation, and spin the camera around, and it's like a whole LGS filled with people opening packs and playing the game and doing the first tournament of 2023. So, little spoiler, people are probably not even tuning in anymore or watching this crap, but here it is. I kind of hinted at it at the beginning of the video. July 22nd, it's a Saturday. I've already confirmed that I'm going to have my good friend Jeff down to be in stores signing, doing autographs and custom altars. I'm working on Marta Molina and 2 other people right now to come in to our shop, and we're going to have the first East Coast tournament of Sorcery. Contested Realm here at 381 Sand Creek Road, fights 2. This place with this guy.
Nice, man.
Hopefully, that guy. Mike, you're invited, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I want you to come in, do live in person. We do interviews. We can do hey, what's up with this? Does this card suck? Is this card great?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Get feedback live from people who have never seen this game. Most of the stuff is people who have seen this game now. It's the raw value of people who are not playtesters that want to learn and see something new. That's why it's called Learn to Plays. And if people don't know about it, they will at that point.
Yep. All right, July 22nd.
Yep. Hopefully
we'll have alpha in hand. They better have it, right?
If not, I might have to call Eric and be like, Eric, will you air ship me a couple boxes?
Yeah.
This fucking event.
I'll have to bring some my precons up. I gave away some of the fire cards. You're holding one of them.
Yeah.
So we'll have to put it back in the deck. But yeah, okay, man. Well, thanks for coming on short notice. I'm sure we'll be talking. Hopefully we'll get some definitive news, not only on alpha, but beta, they're saying September. And I got to believe distribution direct through to distributors will be more streamlined and having to work through ShipQuest and all that,
Basically, now the alpha is the learning curve.
Yeah.
The beta is just add, rinse, repeat, and then escalate and ratchet from there with production numbers. So I'm hopefully going to see. We have the numbers for alpha already. I don't know how much of it's going to get opened. I think the community really is going to come together, and I would love to see people trading cards with each other in that. And I've already seen some of the artist groups going $250 a piece. And speculation is wild right now. I think the prices are going to come down, but I also think when we finally learn what is really good in the game, we're going to see things that are mythics go to 10 cents and things that are commons, much like I think, honestly, this is going to be one of the most iconic cards in the game. I think it'll be super useful just from the few cards I've read and what I've seen, actually trying not to spoil myself and know everything about it before I open the box of alpha, like
Yeah.
a kid on Christmas morning in July. I really want to have that alpha feeling that I had in '93 playing Magic, and I think a lot of us that are out there also want to have that same feeling. They don't want to see spoilers in that. They don't want to watch the YouTube videos, which
Yeah.
is why I kind of shied away from it myself, even as an LGS owner, because I don't want to know what I'm getting into. I want to know what it is when I open it and have commentary the first time I've seen something, be like, oh, wow, holy shit, did you see the little dude over here getting blown apart in the corner? And be like, wait, what? I'm like, I gotcha. It's not actually on the card. But,
Yeah.
that's how I want to feel. And I think that
Yeah.
kind of ties into that nostalgia that people have with card games, especially we're reaching, again, 30 years. Our 30th anniversary is this year in October, officially in October. Flights 2, Flights of Fantasy will be 30
Awesome.
years as the
Wow.
oldest, longest standing game store in Albany, New York.
Wow, congrats. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been,
Nice work.
an adventure, man.
Yeah. So after Alpha, we'll have to regroup, see how it's going in the store, how it's resonating,
Yeah.
talk about the actual cards. It'll be a whole
Yeah.
different vibe, you know? So,
Yeah,
all right,
Yeah,
man. Well, it's good
it
finally
usually-
talking. We've been chatting a lot over Facebook and whatnot.
yeah, shooting the shit and that, and
Well-
it's good to just kind of get it out there. Like I'm not trying to slam anybody. I think that being what it is in a production situation coming out of the pandemic, Eric has done a phenomenal job with what he's done. I just like more communication, and just
Okay.
that's really what it is, and promotional
Fair
materials. Like, it's good when you have the product and it's out there. And again, the alpha really, I kind of have to like take a step back and say, okay, the alpha really isn't the product; it's the kickstart. The beta is the product. And when they started going into the selling of the beta without any promotion to it, and people already knowing what it is on the inside, kind of like the inside door, people who are in the know already buying into it, was a little dirty politicking. And I think that it needs to be mainstream, and that's really my goal, is to get it so mainstream.
Nice. Okay. All right, man. Good talking. Have a good night.
Right on.
Get the kids out of here.
Yeah.
Take care, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Cheers.
See you, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Later.